Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, so let's get into this, shall we, Ophiuchus? Ophiuchus, let's take a look at the topic of love. We have the embodiment of cups and the lovers. Okay, we're diving right into the topic of love. Um, to see that kind of softness, to see that kind of warmth is beautiful. We have Gemini energy. I will be putting out a Gemini video after this. Well, probably a little bit after the today's topic video. But seahorses mate for life, and on this King of Cups card, the embodiment of cups, we have a crown that has those seahorses. Love is everything right now for possibly a Scorpio, a Cancer, or a Pisces, or a Gemini that is completely head over heels in love with a Fucus. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, this person perhaps did not feel this way before because the Wheel of Fortune represents a change in their heart, maybe a change in their, um, let's say, their ability to love, or let's say a change in what's important to them, their priorities, their mindset. Now we see the image of a masculine, and of course we have that king here. So we're going to say that it's a masculine, but do bear in mind, I don't actually read for genders, but I try to go with what we see on the cards to help keep the storyline straight. This is the present moment. I definitely feel like this change has awakened a character. And right now, I mean, this is the only thing that matters to them. This relationship, this opportunity, this time, this chance to be in this love story right here, right now. We have the Hermit. They have been isolating for quite a while. I don't think this is somebody that a Fucus will have heard from in a long time, or perhaps this is someone who hasn't dated anybody in a really long time and they've just recently become awakened and they're making a beeline for a Fucus. I could picture this being somebody who's been single for several years. I don't think that they've been like icing out a Fucus. My impression is that they've been single for quite a while. Gosh, they have a lot of love to give, but it is going to be like undamming a river. It is going to be like all of a sudden, all this love pours out of them. I feel like friends, family, people that know this individual are going to talk and be like, whoa, what just happened? Like, they, I haven't seen them date anybody in how long, and whoa, what just happened? I'm not used to seeing them, get all mushy gushy googly over somebody. What just happened? What just happened to the way they behave? Ten of Wands in the reverse. Something like a light switch has gone off. I don't know why, but the back of my wrist is itching like crazy. Just on the left side. Just don't ask me why. I don't have a bug bite or anything there. It keeps itching. Um, this feels like we have a character who's something changed inside of them, something awakened, something like their heart got turned back on. They stopped hurting over something else. They Let me ask, how has a Fucus impacted them? Because I mean, obviously, this is a big change. Queen of Cups, sideways. A Fucus is, I don't know if it's something that a Fucus said or something that a Fucus did, but they suddenly said, I want somebody like that. This is my match. This is my mate. A Fucus must have been really gentle, but also truthful. Somebody who can give tough love and also real love. Somebody that they saw an element of like this flicker of real truth, this flicker of kindness and compassion and genuine love. And they fell for a Fucus in that moment. They saw this sweetness and strength, because we got the Queen of Swords as well. They saw a Fucus say something, do something that was both kind and true. They have witnessed like a Fucus having good boundaries, but also being so loving. What was this? Was it the way a Fucus treated them, or was it something else? Like a Fucus dealt with somebody else. We have the Tower in the reverse. I'm going to say this. My impression is that a Fucus maybe has the capability of giving people second chances, of telling people, you know what? You messed up. You messed up big. So now you're going to have to go fix it big. But that's all right. That's what we do in life. You can start over. I feel like Ophiuchus has a way of not judging people, but instead telling them the truth, but loving them enough to also give them second chances. And for some reason, I think that that just it displayed, I think, who Ophiuchus really is. I think they were. I get this feeling that Fucus had like a wayward child or something that got themselves off on the wrong path, made some pretty big mistakes, got themselves into trouble with the law, got themselves into trouble with substances, whatever it is, and they didn't give up on their kiddo. Instead, they said, "You made big mistakes. It's not the end of the world, but you will have to do a lot to fix it now." And you can do this. You'll be all right. I feel like if Fucus let their kiddo have consequences while still loving them and like unconditional love, but truthful. I mean, I think that is part of love when we're truthful with somebody, but we genuinely love them also. We can genuinely support them even when they've screwed up royally. And it's like, well, you know what you did wrong, but it's also not the end of the world. I feel like if Fucus has a way of giving people the straight talk that they need, the genuine kind of support, and a way through mistakes. And I think this King of Cups, I think they either observed Ophiuchus treat somebody else like that, like let somebody else know it's not the end of the world. This can be course corrected. And I think that what they saw was if you can forgive other people's mistakes and encourage them, not enable them, let them handle their own consequences, but also still love them through that. That is the kind of partner that I feel like could accept me and all my flaws, all the things that, because I'm wondering if this person is pretty complicated. If they are somebody who's been pretty isolated for a long time, somebody who hasn't opened up to anybody in a long time, and now they're like, I could do that with Ophiuchus. Now I could open up, I could tell Ophiuchus my whole life story. I already know. Maybe this is why they could open up like, a dam, a river being undammed. It's because they could actually feel like they don't have to be perfect. And Ophiuchus will still be able to accept them. If they made mistakes in their past, they're not going to feel like they'd be afraid to tell Ophiuchus about their past. It just feels like there's something here about the way they watched Ophiuchus show up for another person, the way Ophiuchus loves, the way Ophiuchus, can accept reality. And that just really warmed their heart. I can understand why. This Ophiuchus looks amazing. Ophiuchus, do you understand that this person is fallen for you? Nope. Page of Cups sideways. No, Ophiuchus is like, I haven't really noticed them giving me any special attention or any special love or anything. Honestly, I barely even vaguely know this person. Um, Ophiuchus is like their lucky star. Nine of Wands. If anything, Ophiuchus may not have much of a tremendous opinion of themselves. Ophiuchus might be quite humble. They might be somebody who's like, look, I don't have special powers. Look, I made plenty of my own mistakes in life. I've got things I still regret. Ophiuchus just seems like a very down-to-earth person, just a human being, not anybody who walks around thinking that they're here to guide others or, that they got special wisdom to impart. But I think that their no-nonsense attitude is huge. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I do think that Ophiuchus, they've got this way about them where they connect with people at a really real level. Now, Ophiuchus might prefer to actually spend more time with animals. They may have discovered that they have better conversations with other species than with humans, which is interesting. Seven of Cups sideways. I'm going to say it's probably because Ophiuchus is a bit of a shaman and they don't know it. I think Ophiuchus is very, very, very special and they don't know this about themselves. If they are the magic genie that comes out of a lamp and they're like, excuse me, what? I don't know. I'm just out here talking to the deer in the forest. I picture Ophiuchus like feeds deer or reindeer or, um, there could be some wild creatures that are fairly domesticated that like to hang out where Ophiuchus is. This too, it feels like Ophiuchus lives in an area where there's like a nearby open field or something, and they have a tendency to like, I don't know if Ophiuchus wants to be outside quite a bit because it helps soothe them, but what they don't realize is they help soothe others as well. And this is their superpower. This Ophiuchus has some really lovely energy to them, and they don't know it. Yeah, Ophiuchus has carried some kind of, I'm not going to say deep, dark secret, but some kind of a big regret, some kind of a stress that they keep to themselves, that they've been coping with somewhere in the way, way, way back of their own mind, something that they view as their own mistake. It could have something to do with a mother figure. It could have something to do with a family related situation. King of Wands. And they've been slowly, I think Ophiuchus has slowly but surely been believing in second chances for themselves, and little by little believing that maybe the most important thing we could ever do as humans is to reinvent and be that phoenix who rises from the ashes. Maybe that's why they are so good at helping other people as well to believe in the same thing. Look, all I can say is in Ophiuchus's mind, Ophiuchus themselves has carried some kind of a regret inside of their own heart, even though I think that they know better. They know that, like, look, in this lifetime, there's so many chances for us to fumble or, make a mistake or something that we can blow out of proportion, because guilt is something that we can really like focus on and highlight and magnify. And I think Ophiuchus, on one hand, knows that it's not a good idea to carry this magnified sense of guilt, but it's still hard to allow themselves to like be that phoenix rising from the ashes, even though I think Ophiuchus already is. They've been overcoming something for many, many years, is what I would say. Well, all I can tell you is in this storyline, Three of Cups, this is almost like a gift from the universe, where the universe is like, Ophiuchus, you've paid your penance, you've carried a big regret, you've done your best, you've reinvented yourself, and you've helped countless other people along the way. And now there is somebody who has fallen head over heels in love with you, who has their own bit of regrets to carry, and you are coming across as this beautiful kindred soul with that Three of Cups. I think it is time that Ophiuchus has someone who has their back, and somebody who is going to be able to understand Ophiuchus's, own life story as well. This is a beautiful story of like redemption and second chances, and the fact that everybody has a right to, course correct and continue on. Like we do the best we can with the skills we got when we got them, and then as we grow and learn more and develop new skills, we also become more. Actually, I loved this one. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Lots of love. Bye.